Well, before you went, I was actually thinking of being the all right. I'll pick Ty Dillinger just so we have an odd person out. But since you took care of that, fuck it, Eric Young.
Thanks, Nate. All right, so the next match on the card is the Fatal 4-Way for the NXT Women's Title. Peyton Royce versus Nikki Cross, Billie Kay, and Asuka. Alright, who's going first?
Well, I guess we could probably go in reverse. So, Chris, AJ, you want to go first?
Max hasn't gone first. Max hasn't gone first yet. I'm stitching you out, bitch. Go first.
All right. I think with this one, I think Asuka's going to retain. I think I get a feeling they want someone who's, I don't want to word this without being an asshole, so fuck it. Someone who could credibly actually beat her without help. And I just don't see Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, or Nikki Cross doing that. So I'm going to stick with Asuka retaining.
Okay. Spencer?
I've got Asuka retaining. I'm sorry. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. Don't get me wrong. I love the work in the ring. They're definitely not main event title level yet. Nikki Cross, yeah, maybe. But
I don't give a shit about Nikki Cross's life.
Asuka. If Asuka loses the belt, yeah.
Well, it depends on how they do it. I mean, if it's a
I
double
guess.
by Billie Kay, that'd be awesome. If Nikki Cross does it because she's Nikki Cross, that'd be still awesome. And Asuka's probably just going to dominate everybody. So.
Well, I kind of got like two theories going on here, and I still haven't decided which one I want to pick. I'll go next, and I'll buy you some time. So, Asuka's obviously dominated this entire women's division. I said I was gonna go. I know. I said I was gonna buy you some time. I'm gonna explain it, and then I'll go from there. But I'll be back in 20 minutes, guys. So Asuka, yes, obviously she's been this dominant force like the entire time she's been there. I don't see any credible threat in one-on-ones for anyone taking the title from her, which is kind of why I feel they have this fatal four-way match set up for her to lose and not get beat. And that's to my crossroads where it's like, are we going to see, like, maybe my pick would have been Nikki Cross here going over, because she's been pushed really, like, brutally lately, and then possibly having Asuka's rematch at NXT in Orlando, or do we see Asuka retain and go against Ember Moon in Orlando? Right. I don't know. I am probably gonna be the odd man out of the group here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say Nikki Cross with the win. I don't see why you have a fatal four-way against Asuka and have her win. I feel like this is a prime opportunity to take it off of her without actually her getting pinned or submitted. Somebody else takes the ball, and then she gets a rematch going into Orlando. Probably be first ever two-time women's champion.
That's a very fair point.
The other part of what you were saying, I know we discussed this a little bit earlier. The way that NXT is basically grooming Ember Moon to be almost the next Asuka, or at least somebody who is comparable to her, to be able to have that big, big fight feel when it comes to NXT Takeover Orlando, Asuka versus Ember Moon. And I think that's where they're going to go with it. So, by that logic, I have to go with Asuka retaining to be able to set that up coming up before WrestleMania. Hey, either way, we got our bases covered now. Sure.
I think I'm going to go with AJ on this one. I'm going to pick Nikki Cross because I think, like you said, she's already surpassed the reign as longest reigning NXT Women's Champion. And knowing WWE logic, it's like, oh, you've already passed this mile marker, so we're just going to have you drop some belts. Best example that happened recently, New Day. I find time to, finally get her, just wrap it up just a little bit. Maybe have her going to Orlando. I think the matchup between Ember Moon and Asuka could be so big that it doesn't even need the title. I think that the match in and of itself is already a household sellout. So I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. And maybe Nikki Cross starts, really bringing out her crazy gimmick and really starts just going batshit crazy. And who knows, maybe at the end of the day, somehow Billie Kay gets the title. I think it'd be an interesting team to have, Sandy versus Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. I know it sounds weird to say, but I'd actually like to see Billie Kay and Peyton Royce kind of pick up the title and be like the besties. Just don't make that championship belt like Lake Pool did, where it was like that friendship belt where they just
cut it in half. It was like, it was skin down the middle, like a heart necklace.
The perfect, jagged split.
I don't understand why they would have a fatal four-way match if not only the reason to take the title off of Asuka without her losing, if only to get this exact discussion going. Yeah, that's why you would do that, because otherwise any one-on-one match that she would have is literally just going to be everybody picking Asuka anyway. Right. Well, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But also, not only to throw people off in their picks or whatever. Which I don't even think WWE's smart enough to do that, honestly. No, but NXT is. We've seen them swerve us many, many times recently. True. But if anything, I would have actually personally rather have seen Nikki Cross versus Asuka one-on-one. And then what you would do is you'd use the numbers game of sanity, just distractions and things like that, rather than having two other people that, mind you, yes, they're working their way up in NXT, but they are not at that level right now for NXT Women's Title.
And I won't change my pick, but I guess I completely forgot the Fatal 4-Way element of this match. And AJ brings up a perfectly good point that I'll stick with my pick, but I think AJ might be right on this one. Because that's a great way. If you want to take the belt off of Asuka without damaging her credibility, sure, we might miss out on the Ember Moon Asuka match for the title, but that's if you're planning on doing something with Asuka outside of NXT, it's a great way to get the belt off her without really damaging any sort of credibility. So you bring up a good point, and actually I'm kind of regretting it. So, all right, we'll move on to the NXT title match. It is Mr. Shinsuke Nakamura.
Just before we move on, do we actually at some point see the Billie Kay, Peyton Royce kind of break up, kind of get towards it when one of them, they hit a double team move, one goes for the pin, gets pulled off by the other who goes for a pin? Do we see them kind of get into it a little bit during this match, considering it is Fatal 4-Way?
No, I don't think I don't see them breaking up.
I think it's too soon for anything like that.
You see the friction. It's kind of where they plant the seed, where they can either go one way of being like, we're going to break them up, or the other way of going, well, it was just a match, we'll get over it.
Oh, well, that's naturally, yeah.
I think
I could see that.
At some point, I think that's going to, at least once.
I could definitely see that, yeah.
I could see them having a problem.
Or just they're bored with having everyone else chase Asuka.
Yeah.
Because everyone right away, like Chris said earlier, everyone's going to have, Asuka's going to destroy her no matter what. So maybe, we see a new champion and we get Asuka back in the picture chasing the champion down, which would make things more exciting again.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree as well. That you could plant the seeds, and then they could kind of go the Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens way of, are they going to break up, are they not, kind of thing. So, all right, we will move here into the NXT title match. It is going to be Shinsuke Nakamura versus the glorious Bobby Roode. Nate.
Bobby Roode. I think I finished. Bobby Roode.
I'm good. Good.
Nakamura. I'm taking Nakamura. I'm also, yes, I'm picking Nakamura to retain. Also, we are going to see two of the greatest entrances in one match tonight, Saturday night. We're going to have a very, very glorious entrance duo for that match.
I agree.
Water.
The entrances for this match is going to be just amazing.
The thought alone of entrances makes me smile.
Okay, so let's run this down because a lot of people shouted at the same time. Chris has got Bobby.
No, Chris had Nakamura.
Okay.
I had Nakamura. Nate had Bobby.
Okay, so you both have Nakamura. Nate's got Bobby. Max?
Nakamura. Just straight up. Nakamura. I won't lie. A lot of that is I think it's what's going to happen, and then there's a tiny part of me who's like Bobby Roode gets all pissy, and then he decides to ingratiate his gloriousness into a Rumble slot. Because I want that entrance at the fucking Rumble. God damn it!
I am going to take. Oh boy, I'm going to take Bobby Roode. Oh, this is a tough one. Because both guys really could walk out and everybody would be happy. I've got Bobby Roode. That's really a coin toss for me. But I'll take the glorious pick. So.
The glorious pick.
Yeah,
Jeez,
I'll take.
Your pick down.
So we are going to take a quick break, come back, and then we are going to make our predictions for the 2017 Royal Rumble. That is next here on the Squared Circle.
What is going on, guys? This is the Loose Cannon, Nate the Effing Great, here to tell you about a great company known as AJsBelts.com. Why are they so great, you ask? Well, let me tell you, they have every single championship belt that you can imagine, from classic championships to modernized championships. Hell, even they do MMA championships. They have great deals on championship belts, and I know what you're thinking. What if you can't afford them right now? No problem. They have a great layaway program, as well as if you go through PayPal credit, you can get your championship belts right away. A&J's Belts, the proud sponsors of the Squared Circle Podcast.
Hey there, friends and listeners of the Squared Circle Podcast. Are you looking for some new threads, maybe some new hats, or any other form of apparel? Do yourself a favor and head over to ProWrestlingCrate.com. Are you familiar with Loot Crate, those wonderful little boxes where you can get all sorts of nerdy goodies? Think the same thing, but infinitely better, because wrestling. All kinds of shirts, little toys, you name it. All available at ProWrestlingCrate.com. Exclusive friends of the Squared Circle Podcast.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Spencer Hart from the Squared Circle Podcast. Wanted to let you know about some amazing news. You can listen to the Squared Circle Podcast right now on the new Satchel podcast player for both Android and iPhones. Here's the deal. While you're listening to us on Satchel, you can quickly and easily send us a few dollars to make our show even better. So if you're listening to us on Satchel right now, go ahead, click that donate button and send us some much appreciated donations. And if you're not listening to us on Satchel, I mean, come on, what are you doing? Download the podcast player right now at satchelplayer.com. Exclusive friends of the Squared Circle Podcast. Welcome back to the Squared Circle Podcast on Spreaker.com, iTunesPlayer.fm, PodDirectory.com, Stitcher.com, CastBox.fm, WrestleWorld.uk, IWNerd.com, TuneIn Radio, and a lot of other great podcasting network sites. All right, boys, we went through NXT Takeover. I'm hoping NXT is always a great show. It really gets the tone going. It really sets the mood for a Big Four weekend. So we're going to move away from NXT now, and then we are now going to make our predictions right now for the Royal Rumble. Everybody ready?
Yep. Let's do this.
All right, let's do it. The following predictions are scheduled for the 2017 Royal Rumble, and they are for the Squared Circle Podcast Heavyweight Championship. All right, boys. So let's run down the card here. It's a big card. Let's start with